The big shocker in this trailer, of course, the reappearance of Palpatine. What can you tell us about this? How long was this in the cards? Was this sort of in the blueprint from Episode 7?
This has been in the blueprint for a long time. Yeah, we had not landed on exactly how we might do that, but yes, it's
always to be an episode.
I want to ask you. I just found this out. Have you been keeping Rey's secret from the beginning? Did you know about the parentage? Like, tell me about that journey of when you found out.
No. At the beginning, there was toying with like an Obi-Wan connection, and then it really went. There were like different versions, and then it really went to that she was no one. And then it came to Episode 9, and JJ pitched me the film and was like, "Oh yeah, Palpatine's granddaddy," and I was like, "Awesome." And then 2 weeks later, he was like, "Oh, we're not sure." So it kept changing. So then even I was filming, and I wasn't sure what the answer was going to be.
So Disney lied to us all. These Star Wars sequels have always felt like they had no direct vision or goal or where they really wanted to end up in the long run. Especially The Rise of Skywalker extremely felt like they really had no goal where they wanted to be from Episode 7 to Episode 9. Kathleen Kennedy stated that in an interview that I played at the beginning of this video, that the Emperor was always planned to be in Episode 9 since The Force Awakens. That's what she said. He's always been in talks from the very beginning. Daisy Ridley recently just did an interview, again, I just played in the beginning of this video as well, with Josh Gad. Josh Gad interviewed Daisy Ridley and said she knew nothing about The Rise of Skywalker and her character. Originally, she was going to, get this, she was going to be related to Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's what The Force Awakens was building up to. And then she was a nobody, and then they had to do something else with the Emperor, but then they didn't. She was originally going to be related to Obi-Wan Kenobi, which, when Force Awakens came out, that was my general theory. That she was going to be related to somebody big and somebody important, like an Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's what a lot of people are saying. Last Jedi came out, I was like, alright, she's a nobody. Okay, it's not really what I was expecting, but I like that change. I like that not everyone has to be related to a certain character in this universe that has to have the Force. Rise of Skywalker came out, she's a Palpatine. It's through and through, she's a Palpatine. And the lack of pure vision, the lack of a vision is extremely prominent in The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. Because J.J. Abrams in Force Awakens set up his famous mystery boxes. He set up what he was going to do with the rest of the other two films. Here's what I think Disney should have done. First of all, think of a belated plan first before you're making a trilogy. That is the best thing you could ever do. Think of a plan before you make a trilogy. But secondly, I think they should have just made J.J. Abrams direct all three of these films. Would they have felt very similar from each other? Yes, but it would have just been super clear. Or have just a cut vision of J.J. Abrams, you could direct this film. Rian Johnson, you could direct this film, but you don't get full creative control. And then the third one could have gone to somebody else or J.J. Abrams. Stick with your bloody goal. If Obi-Wan Kenobi was going to be if Rey was going to be related to Obi-Wan Kenobi, like Daisy Ridley said that was going to be the originally, have it be. Do not give Rian Johnson full creative control to do whatever he wants. I do not buy for a second that Palpatine was always going to be in the film. He was never hinted at in Force Awakens or The Last Jedi. Not even once, from my knowledge. They killed Snoke, and you can tell J.J. Abrams wasn't done with that character. You can tell he was going to give him some sort of backstory, or at least he just wasn't done with that character. But J.J. Abrams, Rian Johnson was. So he's like, Kathleen Kennedy's like, what are we going to do? We're in a bit of a pickle. We need a big bad guy. And, Kylo Ren, he's cool and all, but he's not the face of the franchise. Let's bring out Palpatine. First of all, that was not your goal from the very beginning. Second of all, it freaking ruins the original Star Wars trilogy. It freaking ruins Episode 1 to Episode 6. The Darth Vader redemption. Him killing Palpatine is him saving the galaxy as the prophecy foretold. Disney was just like, sorry about that super awesome ending that you really enjoyed. Just gonna crap all over that perfect ending from 6 films and just crap on that perfect ending of Anakin's character. And him leading that prophecy that he was gonna save the galaxy. Just gonna crap on that. It doesn't matter. I don't really care. That the point that Disney just absolutely lied to us and said about the Palpatine, said about Rey, said that they had a complete vision from episode 7 to episode 9 is total crap. And Disney really is just perfectly confirmed that Disney lied to us about the entire Star Wars sequel trilogy. And I still enjoy Force Awakens a lot. I love Force Awakens. I really enjoy Last Jedi. And I think Rise of Skywalker is fine. Does this ruin those 3 films for me? No, it doesn't. It just extremely pisses me off that Disney thinks we're so dumb and can't tell. Somebody with a brain could tell that those films, the way they were made, the way they panned out, is not. It's visionless, and that's what the sequel trilogy of Star Wars is. It's visionless, and it wasn't just ending a new trilogy; it was ending the entire Skywalker saga, and they did that not with respect. They did that completely blindly. They just did it at the spite of, let's just make a film, let's just go with what we go, let's just go with the punches and see how people react to it, instead of perfectly planning. Say what you want about the prequels, besides episode 3, I don't think they're very good. Episode 1 is a mess, and episode 2 I think is actually terrible. But George Lucas had a vision for those films. People did not take Phantom Menace well. Besides 1 or 2 critiques, lesser Jar Jar or anything, he didn't change his vision of the films because of the fans' backlash. Force Awakens, I loved, but people said it was too similar to A New Hope. It borrowed too many similarities from A New Hope. So Rian Johnson's like, okay, let me make this edgy, different Star Wars film, which I love the different aspects of this. But Star Wars fans were like, this doesn't feel like Star Wars. So they changed it again. The Rise of Skywalker. Critics didn't like the way this film ended. I didn't like the way the saga ended. But audiences loved it. So now Disney's in a loop. The first film, really enjoyable, got great reviews from audiences and critics, but felt like a bit too much A New Hope. Last Jedi, split. Critics loved it, audiences hated it. So they changed it. So The Rise of Skywalker. Critics hated it, audience loved it. Disney should have just, first of all, stood with a freaking plan, made a plan for a trilogy, and stop listening to the fans in everything. Thirdly, just tell us the truth. If you didn't have a plan for the trilogy, which is super obvious, especially in Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, just tell us. Don't just sit to an interviewer and lie to his face saying, oh yeah, Palpatine was planned from the very beginning. Oh, Rey was always supposed to be a Palpatine. Disney really even confirmed that she had no freaking clue what her character was going and what was going to happen with her character. She even admitted that to herself, that Disney just flat out just did not tell her, and they changed the complete motive. This disappoints me. Overall, I am frustrated beyond belief, and I do not think Disney should be in charge of Star Wars anymore. I really don't think so, and I'm excited for, apparently they're making another trilogy, but if they have the incompetence like they did with the sequel trilogy, I'm not excited, and I think George Lucas should come back and have some proper progression and come back with some things. Now I know why George Lucas won't even come to the premiere screenings for these films, because they just totally lacked a vision. George Lucas even had ideas for Force Awakens. J.J. Abrams apparently really liked it or loved it. Kathleen Kennedy's like, nah, screw your idea. I don't care. You invented Star Wars, but I know more about you. This whole debate of that Disney just lying and just not caring about anybody just frustrates me beyond belief. Frustrates me. It absolutely frustrates me to my core that Disney would just do this for such a beloved franchise. They would just be like, we don't need a vision, we don't need a correct goal, we don't need a pathway, we don't need a road to direct these films on. Let's just YOLO it and see where we go. But let's just lie to an audience as well and say that we had a freaking plan from the very beginning, even though we didn't. As a Star Wars fan, somebody who trusted Kathleen Kennedy to make good films, and overall, I love Force Awakens and Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker I think is fine. So overall, it's a solid trilogy, but the way they ended Rise of Skywalker with the crapped on Anakin storyline, which they should not have done with, and the lack of a goal or a lack of a plan, frustrates me beyond belief. That they just decided, hey, let's just mess up this franchise. And I don't love the prequels. I think Episode 3 is really good, like really freaking good. I really love that film. Besides some problems, obviously. That trilogy had a complete goal. In terms of quality, the sequel trilogy is better than Episode 1 and 2. In terms of plan, if I were to go between actual plan, this would be my least favorite trilogy in terms of payoff. Return of the Jedi, great payoff. Revenge of the Sith, great payoff. Rise of Skywalker, not great payoff. Episode 4, great. Episode 1, actually bad. Episode 7, really good. Episode 5, fantastic. Episode 2, terrible. Episode 8, I actually really enjoy. And then the climax for 6, great. Pretty good. I think 6 is fine. 3, really good. And then Rise of Skywalker being bland. They completely messed up this trilogy for the lack of a plan and just completely lying to us. They're like, we had a plan. You didn't have a plan. You completely messed up. So there you guys have it. Those were my thoughts on Disney just completely lying to us. I know this was a more rambly video than normal, and we'll see what Disney does with this video. They might take it down. They might whatever, because I don't know what Disney wants to do. But to be honest, this, as a Star Wars fan, this really just irritates me. So what do you guys think of this? What do you think of this whole everything? Let us know your thoughts down below. Let's have a friendly discussion. We're gonna get. Let's try to be kind about it down in the comment section below. If you guys like this video, you can hit the like button and subscribe and hit the post notification bell so you guys never miss when I upload another video. You guys can check out my podcast I do every other Tuesday with a friend of mine. It's called the Movie View Podcast, and you guys can check out my Instagram at General Daniel 77. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. General out.